Okay, quickly, this is how I do mini setup, and I find it consistent for me. Get into this corner after targeting the wall. Roll once, you should be in this position. You can roll more than once, but you should only have to roll once. See up, see out to free cam. 180, leaf. Is this turn right? Put leaf away, go into the crawling animation, stand up, normal get up, then leaf once. Yes, this turn up. Now all you have to do is just roll twice. Try rolls. And then you should be in this position, and now move on to step 2 of the setup. Okay, so now we want to get a slightly different angle from this position, and the way we do that is 2 sets of turnarounds. But there's 2 things that I keep in mind to make this more consistent for me. One, you want to make sure that your 2 turnarounds in a set are instant after each other and there's no gaps. So you want to do it like this, instantaneously. You don't want to do it like this, where there's a gap in between. And the reason why this causes an issue, because you can notice when you do a turnaround, the camera shifts slightly, and if you wait for the camera to shift slightly before you do the second turnaround, it gives you a different angle. So make sure it's instant, bam, bam, like that. Second thing is when you zoom in like this and see up, when you exit see up, the camera zooms out, settles for a second, moves again, then settles for a second time. Like so. Zooms out, settles, moves again, settles. So what you want to do for the first set of turnarounds is do it after the camera starts moving again. So now, and then the second turnaround set, you want to do it the moment the camera finishes zooming out. So now. So like so. Let me get to the right angle and position from step 1. So now, see up, exit, move it again, bam, bam, see up, finish zooming out, do it immediately again. And then bam, you get this angle, this is what you want. Try to keep those two things in mind. But now, we have this position, this angle, we can move on to the actual clipping portion. Okay, so now for the actual clipping portion, so put the leaf away, pull sword, make sure you have sword out, see up and see out for a consistent cam for the rest of the setup. And now you want to roll left immediately without moving. And you just have to do that frame perfectly, but there's a trick you can do to make it easier. So if you just do it out of a turnaround, you have a 6-frame window to hold left and press A without moving. And to do it even easier, you can buffer the turnaround and then either mash A out of that or buffer and A press again, holding left, tending late because you have a 6-frame window, and then it makes it pretty free. I can show how to do that right now, but do note that in an actual run, Tetra will be here, so you have to turn around once and then turn around again, so you don't talk to her when you do this. And do note, because we're on free cam now, we can turn around as many times as we like without messing up our angle. Okay, on the topic of these 180 turns, to kind of make the roll to the left easier, I noticed a couple of things later that I kind of want to clarify on. One, your angle does change when you 180 like this to 6.5 at the end. But this doesn't matter as long as you made sure that you did the final see up, see out with this 4.6 angle. As long as you're sure with that, your camera stays like this, it doesn't matter. And you'll notice also when you go for the roll here, your angle becomes this anyways. The only thing that's important is that you make sure that you do the see up, see out with this angle. And then you can, it doesn't matter if the angle changes. Another thing is I mentioned that you want a 180 once and then 180 again if Tetra's here. That's not necessarily true. Depending on how early you roll in the turnaround animation, the answer kind of changes. So if Tetra's here, or just like if Tetra exists, if you press A early in the animation, buffering it, you want to do it turning around this way, from like facing away to facing her. But if you do it later, you do want to do it facing her to facing it away. I can try to highlight that real quick. Let me show it. So in this case, I'm going to buffer my turnaround. And then this is later, I waited a couple frames. I'm going to try to roll, I talk to her. That's because I took too long and I turned around enough to talk to her. Let me try to do it immediately now. Why am I doing like this? Okay. See there, I did it soon enough to where I didn't turn around enough to talk to her. Let me show the other way now. So let's say I do turn around. So here, if I do it too soon, I talk to her. But if I do it later, then I don't talk to her. Making sure I turn first. So it matters when Tetra exists if you're doing the safety strat. Depending on which way you're turning, the timing of your A press does matter relative to how much you've turned already. So keep that in mind. Again, yeah, just take note of that. And with safety in mind, you don't have to commit to something if you're uncomfortable with it. So like, for example, if you turn around and you realize that your A press is going to be too late or too early, just, let the turnaround happen. And you can, buffer another turnaround and try again, or just turn around and try again. You don't have to commit. So keep that in mind also. So again, we're here. I turn around once, and then now what I like to do is I pause buffer and ESS up, and then now I just do a late A press buffer out of the turnaround, and then now that's the good roll. Again, you don't have to do it this way. This is just slower and safer than what I like to do. And now, after you do the roll, you want to hold left until a certain frame and start holding up. So I'll show that now. Real quick, let me make a save state here, and I'll frame advance and show the frame that I paused to, because it'll be a little different in frame advance. So I'll show first. So I hold left, and then I pause buffer until this frame. And what I'm looking at, not this frame, but what I'm looking at here is this rectangle. I wait till the corner starts going off screen, and then I pause till here, and this is where I start holding up. So let me go back, because I can't do that out of frame advance. This is a weird delay with the inputs. So hold left out of the roll, pause buffer till this frame. Now I hold up for a frame, and then you roll the next frame while still holding up, like that. And then now I will show the frame that I paused till to do the B input. And you want to hold L to do the B input. But now you can go neutral, everything's fine. So now, save state here, hold L, exit, and then now I pause buffer this frame. And what I'm looking for here personally is your arm is perfectly flush with this line, or you can say the head of Link is above the line, flush at the bottom. And then I pause buffer to here, and then I buffer the B press. Again, I can't do it here because there's a weird delay with frame advance. So let me go back and do it. So pause until that frame, and then buffer the B press. Bam, worked. And now I'm gonna do it seamlessly because I explained a lot, and hopefully it all makes sense after. All right, from the top, target the wall, go into the corner, roll once, see up, see out, free cam, turn around, leaf, ESS turn right, leaf away, go down to crawling once, stand up, leaf, ESS turn up, try roll twice. Do the 2 turnarounds as I described with those things I said kept in mind. Now pull sword if it's not out, see up, see out. Now do the roll to the left and hold left the entire time, and continue to hold left out of it however you see fit without moving before rolling. Still this frame. Here, hold up for 1 frame. Now roll while still holding up this frame, the following frame. Now go neutral, hold L, pause buffer till this frame. Here, B press buffer out of the pause. A-okay. Now I'm gonna do it without talking at all, just so you can focus on what's happening.